The story starts with the birth of a baby, who is then checked to determine whether it is weak or unwell, because newborns of this type were executed in Sparta. Even though the newborn is perfectly healthy, he is sent away from home to train as a warrior. As soon as he turns 7, Sparta only teaches that giving one's life in defense of one's nation is the highest form of honor. He was trained by fighting and being thrashed with whips in order to build up his strength. He is taken to a scary jungle after finishing his training, where he encounters a wolf that night and kills it with courage. Upon his return from the jungle, Leonidas is crowned king of Sparta. Gradually, 30 years later, Leonidas receives a Persian envoy. Xerxes, their mighty ruler, is the commander of a vast army. To the messenger, Leonidas asks, "What can I do for you?" Says the messenger, "Water and land. Are you here for land and water?" The messenger says, "Bow down to our emperor, Xerxes." The messenger grows incensed and asks how a woman can talk so freely among men after Queen Gorgo Leonidas makes this comment. She answers, "The ladies who give birth to real men are Spartan women." When Xerxes requests Sparta from King Leonidas, the envoy advises him to think carefully before answering. However, the king ignores the messenger and slings a spear in his face, prompting the Persians to flee to the edge of the black pit seen in the trailer. The messenger becomes enraged and proclaims that it is a violation of law to kill a messenger. Leonidas replies, "This is Sparta," and then he pushes the Persian and his guards into the pit. A regulation in Sparta mandates that the monarch consult the oracle and the efforts of the gods' priests, who are more creatures than humans. The oracle is the most attractive young lady in Sparta, but her good looks also bring her bad luck, as she is forced to live up in the mountains with these ugly heifers who reveal these secrets or fates, often under the influence of drugs or alcohol. As Leonidas ascends the mountains, he consults the oracle after providing funding for the endeavor and revealing his plan to march north to find his troops. She is the ethereal white woman in the teaser who looks to be drowned in water and who she believes would eventually collapse. The king is angry that he can't just sit around and do nothing, so Leonidas and his captain Vincent Regan are assembling their 300-strong army the following morning. The efforts claim that he cannot go to war while a celebration is about to occur. When he notices that one of the soldiers is the captain's son, he says that the soldier is too young to fully understand the warmth of. The other councilman went up to the king and asked where he was. He replied that the oracle had spoken and that he was familiar with the law and rules. The king claimed to be out for a stroll and that these 300 men were just his bodyguards. The king then encountered another troop, the Arcadians. As they marched out, the captain demands that he fight the lady. The son seemed to be proud to be among these very powerful fighters. The Arcadian leader says they have come to take part, but the king's tiny troop surprises him. As you can see above, the Spartan is cocky and conceited. When Leonidas asks one of Arcadia's soldiers what he does for a living, he finds out that he is a sculptor. Another soldier replies that he is a blacksmith. A third soldier answers that he is a potter. Leonidas then turns to his 300-man army and asks them what they do for a living. The monarch welcomes the Arcadian people with thunder, says, "I have more soldiers than you have." The Arcadian people are impressed, and they all march down to the beach. However, when the group gets to the beach, they start to doubt themselves because of how many Persian boats are there. That night, the Greek gods send a powerful storm that flips and destroys some of the boats, which initially makes the Arcadian people happy. However, by dawn, the number of boats appears to have remained the same. The surviving Spartan soldiers are happy because all they can do is hope to meet someone who matches them and can offer them. As they are building a stone wall, a member of his army approaches and demands once more that Sparta bow down. Xerxes admires their arrogance and power and promises that Sparta will become the wealthiest city in the world and that he would abandon the city's women and children if they lay down their weapons and look to him as king. The envoy mocks the Spartan stone wall until he notices the lifeless bodies of numerous Persian army soldiers who were in charge of the watch. A Spartan cuts off the messenger's arm and orders him to tell Xerxes that the battle has started. As this is going on, several Spartans realize they are being followed, and it turns out that the enemy is a monster with a hunched back, who wants to join the fight. He informs the king that the Persians can enter through a different entrance, and he can strike with his spear with great force, but cannot raise the heavy shield he is carrying. The king claims that he is powerless against the Spartans because they utilize their shields to defend not merely. Egypt becomes enraged as the first fight displays the Spartans' might. They stood in a small hole and waited for the first group of Persian soldiers to emerge to combat. They swiftly defeated that army, slaughtering everyone and leaving no one behind. They also effectively eliminate the guy on their left and Ephialtes. As they get their breath, the remaining Persian army launches a flurry of arrows that absolutely blocks the sun. When the two sides rest and clear the battlefield, the Spartans band together, fending off the arrows with their shields and calling them cowards. Leonidas Xerxes, a 7-foot-tall, bald, and pierced god/king, appears. He again invites Leonidas to kneel before the king declines, stating that his thighs are worn out from defeating the first Persian army. Enraged, Xerxes swears he can eradicate Sparta and that no one will ever know or hear of them again. After that, everyone will forget who King Leonidas is and who the Spartans are. The next battle will be with the Immortals, who are soulless creatures with dark eyes and fang-like teeth, who are dressed in black and gold. Their special weapon is this enormous chain beast. Even though some of their soldiers die, the Spartans easily defeat these enemies. As Xerxes notes in the story, claims that this experience of being a godlike deity is just a human cold. In the next scenes, the Persians employ rhinoceros magic, elephants from across the globe, and monsters to bring as much power as they can to the table. When Xerxes sees that his army is losing, he scalps his generals as a form of discipline. During one of these battles, the captain's son's head is cut, and he tears because his heart is broken. Do you remember how 3 men had to drag him away from his son in order to deliver the hunchback belly? He is amazed by everything Xerxes has to offer, including riches, women, and the chance to fight if he will just submit to him. He is also fascinated by everything that happens and tells him about the second opening, which would allow the Persian army to easily defeat the Spartans. Meanwhile, the queen is meeting with Theron. He asks whether it's poison when she offers him something to drink, and she says the councilman will never allow an army to march to the king, suggesting that he might persuade them to do so if she sleeps with him. She agrees, and he starts to forcefully assure her that they will not enjoy their time together. "My Majesty, because I am not your king." While both armies withdraw, speaks to a soldier named Dios who was hurt during a skirmish. He asks Leonidas how he is doing, to which he replies, "It's only an eye." The king then commands him to return home and tell everyone in Greece about Sparta's 300 warriors. He knows they will die, and although he is sorry he won't see his wife again, he is happy to be helping Sparta. The next day, the queen meets with the councilman after he returns the jewelry his wife gave him to Dilios. She presents a compelling case for enabling the soldiers to support the king, and it's evident that some of the members are inspired by her words and starting to agree. He sarcastically applauds her after her speech before turning on her and accusing her of being an adulterer. He tells everyone that she approached him and offered herself to him, but he turned her down because he is an honest guy. She chases after him in a fit of wrath, but he dispatches 2 guards to capture her and take her out of the room she wants. When she releases herself, they acknowledge that she is the queen after all. She then takes one of their swords and stabs him in the stomach. She draws him in and says, "This will not end quickly. It will be unpleasant for you. I'm not the queen of your kingdom." As she does so, his money bag and the Persian coins he was carrying fall out. As the Arcadians distribute the king and the coins, the other councilmen pick up one of the coins and quickly discover he is a traitor. What's left of his army is ruins. The Persian army has surrounded everyone. Once more, Xerxes appears to be watching, and one of his minions asks that Leonidas submit to Xerxes. Haven't they got the point yet? Nevertheless, Leonidas takes off his helmet, sets down his shield and spear, and kneels, only to regain his composure when his assembled group of Spartan warriors disperses, and one of them leaps upon Leonidas' back, spearing that many into death as everyone returns to fighting. The monarch takes up his spear and swings it at Xerxes, severing part of his cheek, yet he escapes death. Xerxes is shocked and puts his hand to his injured mouth. Spartans, the king included, die one by one. One of them tells him that dying at his side is an honor. The king replies that living at his side was an honor after facing the sun, and saying, "My love." The remaining Persian army then executes him and makes sure that all Spartans die by firing billions of arrows into the air. Leonidas returns home to give the jewelry to the queen and to announce their victory. It ends a year later with Leonidas seemingly emerging as the next Spartan army commander, and the Spartans getting ready to confront the Persians again. But this time thousands upon thousands of Spartans rush to the battle immediately. Thank you for watching, and please remember to like, subscribe,